Hey guys, Coach Jeff Leach with Diamond Kinetics. Check us out, diamondkinetics.com, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram if you're interested in baseball technology, cool stats, and information. So we've got Buddy Reed on the left. He is one of the top prospects in the 2016 draft. He is a junior center fielder at the University of Florida. On the right, one of the all-time greats, Ken Griffey Jr., my personal favorite baseball player in swing of all time. So I'm going to compare these two guys because they play a similar position. Buddy Reed's a switch hitter, but here we're going to take a look at him lefty, comparing to Ken Griffey Jr. Two critiques that scouts have had is that he lacks consistency and power from the left side, and I'm going to show why I think he could gain some power and some consistency by really analyzing Ken Griffey Jr.'s swing and applying some of his strengths to his own move. So you can see that Buddy Reed starts a little bit wider and more open. His front foot is pulled back. His hands are a little bit higher. It's a personal style for Buddy and nothing that I would change. As he goes into his negative move, he gets a little toe tap, and you can see he gets narrower, a little bit closer to where Ken Griffey was. And I want to pay attention to the lead arm, or focus on that, because this is one of the reasons why I think he lacks some of the separation and power that Ken Griffey Jr. was able to generate. You can see that both of these guys have very similar hand positions and lead arm flexion. The bat is held over the shoulder. There's a little bit more counter rotation with Buddy Reed than there is with Ken Griffey Jr., but almost the exact same angle of the hands, just lower with Ken Griffey, and he's holding the bat over the back shoulder. So his hands are about even with the back shoulder. What we're going to see now is that Ken Griffey Jr. is going to add sufficient width to his swing, and I think this is really critical to understand, is when we're trying to create some separation, we need to take a little bit of slack out of this lead arm, and we also have to make sure that our hands are deep enough behind us that we're creating some stretch, shorten cycle. We're creating some separation. So as Buddy Reed starts to move out, you can see that his hands actually get closer to his back shoulder. He still has, in fact, he might have more lead arm flexion. You can see that his elbow is still really tight and close. His hands are really close to his shoulder. If we look at Ken Griffey Jr., we're going to see the opposite. He starts there, and then as he strides, you can see that his lead arm does gain some extension. So let me preface this, because people are going to say, you want arm bar, and that's not what I'm after. What I'm after is sufficient width. You have players that will start with their hands deeper. They'll start with their hands a little bit further back and behind this rear shoulder, like Ken Griffey Jr. is when he gets to heel plant. If a player already has sufficient width, I do not want a player to increase the length of the lead arm or arm bar. But if the player is narrow like Buddy Reed, in my opinion, he has to add lead arm flexion. What I like my players to think of, instead of pushing the arm back, I want them to feel like they're stepping away from the lead arm. So with Buddy Reed, what I would tell him is, once he gets into his negative move, his hands are here. I want him to keep his hands here as he strides forward. You can see how his hands come with him as he strides. Where if I look at the same side, when Ken Griffey Jr. starts to go, you can see that his hands basically stay in the same position that they were as he starts to move out. So that's going to create the separation, the torque. Torque is twisting force in opposite direction. So as his lower half starts to go, his upper half resists. His hands stay deep. He's stepping away from his hands. Okay, so I think that is something that would help Buddy Reed gain some power, creating some additional separation. Now I want to talk about the intent and direction of his swing path. So when Buddy Reed commits to this pitch, his hands start to immediately move away from his shoulder, and they start to attack this ball with the barrel going very steeply down to contact. You can see the barrel coming down, very steep. It's going to come down this way. Okay. What we'll see from Ken Griffey Jr. is that he gets that barrel. You can see how his hands are still really close to his shoulder. He didn't start to push them away. And as he starts to turn, we're going to see that the barrel takes a very different path. His barrel is falling here, is behind him. And now the barrel is going to start to flatten to swing up and on plane. So I'm tracking the barrel path here, and the barrel is swinging up to match the plane of the pitch. Ken Griffey Jr. did not consider himself a home run hitter. He considered himself a line drive hitter that hit home runs. And I attribute that to him being so consistently on plane with the incoming path of the pitch. Where Buddy Reed, if we look at his next swing, and I erased some of these lines here, we'll see that his next swing follows the exact same pattern. His next swing is still very steep. So this was consistent in the swings that I watched from the left-hand side. Again, very narrow. His hands move instantly away from his shoulder, and his bat path is down, steep, and that's why he pops that ball up. His finish is very low, where Ken Griffey Jr. gets that bat working up on plane. So I hope that helps you guys with some opportunities to improve your swing by getting sufficient width and having the correct thought of matching the plane of the pitch. Again, this is Coach Jeff Leach with Diamond Kinetics. Follow me, give me your feedback on Twitter at Coach Jeff Leach, Leach. Follow us, Diamond Kinetics, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks, guys.